Alrighty, here we are, day 2 of Awaken the Phoenix, transcending your limitations and igniting your inner magic. So I'm so excited to share with you today's transmission, which is all about stop playing small. So I decided that I was going to get into my energy of boldness. We're going to do some year vibes and claiming what it is that we want. So welcome and thank you so much for being here, for those who are live today and for those on the recording. I cannot wait for you to experience this transmission. I was just hearing from one of the ladies today that she had a massive letting go yesterday when she did the comparisonitis recording. So no expectations, but we're going to put it out there for some big energy to be shifted today as well. So for those who don't know me, my name is Melissa Bassett, and I'm an embodiment and leadership coach, an intuitive somatic healer, a co-author, and a serial entrepreneur, and I live here in Marlborough, New Zealand. And I like to call myself a liberation activator because I'm a reminder and a permission slip to men and women who desire to live, love, and lead from a deep place of embodiment, inner freedom, and abundance. And I support entrepreneurs and professionals all over the world to create a life that they are deeply passionate about, so that they can amplify the impact that they have in the world, so that they can magnetize more money and bring more depth to their legacy. So with all that said, let's dive into the intention for today's session. So today I'm hoping that you will leave the session with an understanding of why it is that you might be playing small, why you're essentially limiting your potential and what it is that you can achieve in this lifetime. And hopefully an opportunity to let go, release, heal a little bit of the root cause of that, and initiate yourself into a higher timeline. So the flow is a little bit like yesterday, just starting with a little mini teaching. We're going to bring a little bit of understanding and awareness to where this energy is coming from, what the fears are, what the beliefs are that are keeping you small. We're going to be doing a meditative journey again. So we're going to be using that conscious continual breath to really get into the body and unearth any repressed emotions, any unhealed trauma as well. And that way we can access the wisdom and the intelligence in your body. Like, we often think that our mind knows everything, but I promise you, if you want to listen to the sweet whispers of your soul and your heart, that is where the true wisdom comes through. But first of all, we have to quieten the mind, and that's why breathwork is so powerful. So we're going to start the breathwork with some journal prompts, and then we'll do the breathwork session, a couple of shares, and a wrap up. So let's have a look at the teaching. So stop playing small. So there's several fears and beliefs that can potentially keep someone from playing, being bold and asking for what they desire, or keeping you playing small in your life and business. And these beliefs might limit an individual's growth, success, and ability to take risks. So let's have a look at these fears. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that as I'm reading some of these out, maybe just taking note of some of the things you're like, yes, that's me. Because once you can bring the awareness to it, once we can shine the light on those aspects, then that's when we can actually release that part during the breathwork session. All right. So the first one is one of the fears is the fear of failure. So believing that failure is unacceptable or something to be avoided at all costs can prevent someone from taking risks or pursuing goals. The fear leads to playing small, playing safe, mediocrity, and instead of striving for greatness. Now, this one is also tied a little bit into identity. So it's like, if I was to fail, then who am I as a person? So that one's really tied into the identity of who you are. And that if you were to fail, then maybe you would be deemed, by family or friends or even by yourself as not being a good enough person. So the identity gets wrapped into that fear of failure. The other part of that, or the other side of that, is the fear of success. So what would happen if you actually put out your big, bold desires, if you said, this is what I want, universe, and then you actually received that? Could you actually hold it? Sometimes we think this is what we want, but then in the reality, is like, do I actually have the energetic capacity to hold all that? Would I have the capacity to, say, for example, as an entrepreneur, and you want 20 clients in your group program, have you actually got the energetic capacity to hold all those people and serve all those people? If your business was to continue to grow, do you actually have the systems and the strategies and the structure and all that to be able to sustain that business? So sometimes it's the actual fear of actually, well, if my business was to grow to a level, can I sustain and hold that? So that's a good one to look at too. Lack of self-confidence, believing that you are not capable or deserving of success, can undermine your ability to pursue opportunities and take on challenges. So a lack of self-confidence can lead to that self-doubt, that overthinking, not trusting yourself, hesitation, and a reluctance to step outside of your comfort zone. Having a fixed mindset, believing that abilities and talents are fixed traits rather than something that can be developed and improved upon, can limit growth and potential. So a fixed mindset might lead to avoiding challenges, giving up easily, or feeling threatened by the success of others. I'd say most of us who are in this kind of realm are fairly open to challenging our belief systems and looking at having a growth mindset. So, but that might sort of creep in a little bit. That scarcity mindset, yes. That is that one that we just believe that there is not enough success to go around. There's not enough resources or opportunities to create a sense. If there's not enough of those things, then it creates a sense of competition and scarcity. This mindset may lead to a fear of collaboration, unwillingness to take risks, or reluctance to invest in personal or professional development. I see this showing up a lot in entrepreneurs. I've even experienced it myself, and I have quite an abundant life. But in the past, I have felt that competition, that scarcity, that there's not enough people that are I'm not unique enough, and all these stories that we tell ourselves. So that scarcity mindset, yeah, it's really pays attention. It pays good, to look at that one. Need for approval, another biggie that impacts us. So believing that your worth is determined by the approval and the validation of others can prevent you from pursuing your own goals and dreams. Constantly seeking external validation can lead to fear of judgment and unwillingness to take risks, and tendency to conform to societal expectations. I would say most people would have a little bit of this, just because of the way that we're raised to look outside of ourselves and to seek that approval, especially from mum and dad, when we're growing up. And if we haven't had that ability to be able to have a good sense of self-identity, and that's, grow a good sense of self-esteem, then we do tend to still look outside for that approval and validation. That's been a big one for me. Not sort of putting myself out there and then waiting for the approval and the validation that what I'm putting out there is going to be received by people. Well, of course, we know we need it to be received, but at the end of the day, we shouldn't let that stop us in putting our medicine out into the world, expecting that we need other people to validate it for us to be able to continue putting it out there. Sometimes it's just the way that the energy behind what we're sharing, and we just need to change our messaging and the energy, and then that often will allow it to be received in a different way. Perfectionism. Nope, this one has never ever affected me. I've never had a perfectionism wound. I'm kidding. Perfectionism, and this has been a massive one for me, and I'm going to tell you about my purge shortly. So believing that everything must be perfect before taking action can lead to paralysis and inaction. Perfectionism can create a fear of making mistakes or taking risks, resulting in missed opportunities for growth and progress. So yes, perfectionism has definitely been something which was tied up in my body dysmorphia when I was younger. Overthinking things when I was putting things out into the world, just spending so much time and energy overdoing everything that I used to do. Fear of myself being visible and putting my work out into the world. Again, overthinking it, thinking that I needed to put in so much more and value into it than perhaps what I actually needed to. So I did a breathwork session it's probably a few months ago now, and that perfectionism wound, whoa, did I purge that one big time. I just remember it was very ancestral, because that has been something that's definitely in my gene line, is that perfectionism wound. And so I felt that through my parents and through into my grandparents. And so when I say I purged that, I'll explain that in a sec, but when I purged that, I was releasing that for the generations. And so I can see that kind of creeping in with my daughter already. It's a shame I hadn't done this pre-children, but anyway. And so I knew that that was such a gift for myself, but also for my children as well, because, you know, once we're able to release and let go of, you know, such a big wound that impacts the way that we show up, that is definitely going to flow on to the people that are surrounding us the most, especially our children. So when I purge that, you know, sometimes when you purge, you're actually bringing up deep inside, you know, and sometimes it comes out as coughing, burping, or sometimes, you know, in the extreme end, you can vomit or you just bring up saliva. And so I was lying on the floor, just surrounded in all of this goop all over my face. And then I just rolled over onto my back. And then I was just laughing, and I was just thinking, isn't the human experience just wild and messy and beautiful? And then I just went off into some sort of far off planet as I was in, you know, this incredible altered state of consciousness. So that was me purging my perfectionism wound. And I tell you what, since I have released that, man, just the way I show up in the world is so much different. So I'm so grateful for that opportunity. Just thought I'd share that very real story about my experience. Limiting beliefs about money, believing that money is inherently bad or that wealth is unattainable, can hinder one's ability to build a successful business or create financial abundance. And these beliefs may prevent someone from taking calculated financial risks or pursuing opportunities for financial growth. Fear of judgment, believing that the opinions and judgments of others are more important than your own desires and goals, can hinder personal and professional growth. This fear can lead to seeking approval and validation at the expense of authenticity and taking risks. Yeah, again, you know, this is something that has impacted me, tiptoeing around my words, you know, commenting on someone's post, or, you know, wanting to actually share my opinion, but then afraid that my opinion might get judged or rejected. And so, oh God, I used to spend so much time, you know, wanting to say something and then not saying it, or tiptoeing around my words. And it's so freeing when we can let go of that fear of judgment and just show up authentically and, you know, with grace and with dignity and with integrity. But you know, just letting go of that need for that approval and validation from other people when it comes to sharing our authentic voice. And the last two, which are super important as well, actually last three: fear of rejection, believing that rejection is a personal reflection of inadequacy or failure, can prevent someone from putting themselves out there and pursuing opportunities. This fear can lead to avoiding situations where rejection is possible, limiting growth and potential. So that kind of ties into what I was just saying about, you know, sharing our authentic voice and our thoughts and our opinions and our beliefs out of fear of rejection. Lack of self-trust, another big one for me. Believing that you are not capable of making good decisions or trusting your own instincts can result in reliance on others for guidance and validation. And this can lead to missed opportunities. So what I've noticed through doing the somatic work over the last few years is that there is this, when we talk about, you know, creating life through the lens of the mind, then it is going to be very distorted, because we have all of our beliefs, we have perceptions, you know, other people's projections. But when we can drop out of the mind and into the body, then this is when we tap into this deep connection with the visceral intelligence of our heart and our soul. And once we can quieten down that noise, then often we get that inner guidance, which is the one that is the aligned one, which is the highest. It's the highest. It's offering you the highest potential, the highest outcome. So that's why meditation is so beautiful. That's why, you know, going for walks and getting out into nature, you know, just any time where we can drop out of the mind and get in touch with the body is when we're going to be able to tune in with the higher mind, surrender and trust that divine guidance that's available to us. Not feeling safe. So this one is kind of like, if you think of at the top of the triangle, all the other beliefs and fears come sort of beneath that, right at the top, is not feeling safe. So if you don't feel safe, if you have a belief that the world isn't inherently safe, or that taking risks results in negative outcomes, that can keep someone stuck in their comfort zone. So this belief can create a sense of fear and hinders progress, exploration of new possibilities. So this is the one that I'm going to expand on a little bit more, or actually a lot more, because this one is the one that is really going to impact your ability to be able to be bold, to ask for what it is that you want, to really consciously move in the direction that is of your highest potential in a way that actually feels good. Feeling safe, having the nervous system regulation that's going to allow you to be able to continually expand. So I'm really going to dive into that a lot more. So if you want, you can let me know in the chat if any of those fears or beliefs were resonating with you, and I can also make sure that I'm touching on those little pain points while you're breathing. Alrighty. So no matter what your beliefs and fears are, they're all driven by your body. So yesterday I showed you that chart, which is the polyvagal theory, so that your autonomic state creates the story in your mind. So this is why we actually have to, so stories about the self and the world and relationships are based on the autonomic state. State creates the story. So that's why we actually need to work with the body. Okay, perfect. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, limiting beliefs around money, and fear of rejection. Let me find my pen. I'm going to write that down. Let the chat go. Awesome. So unless we're actually doing the body-based work, unless we're actually working with the body along with, your belief systems, creating, having nice, healthy, clear, conscious thoughts that we're creating our future with, if you're not actually working with the body, perfect. Thank you. So I'll just write that one down. So I'm just going to remove that chat for now. Oh, no, just. I should not mess around too much with my computer, because I've just, my chat has popped out now. Never mind. All right, so yeah, so that's why we need to work with the body, because all of your beliefs and your fears live in your body. So in other words, does this make me feel safe or unsafe? And whether or not you consciously know that, you will feel it in your body. So we navigate the world via autonomic nervous system. So our autonomic nervous system takes in information and will initiate a response to help us safely navigate day-to-day tasks. So if you're doing something that feels like a contraction, sometimes we can work with that. It's just an edge. You kind of like, oh no, this makes me feel uncomfortable, putting myself out there. Perhaps there's a fear of the rejection or judgment, but that's an edge for you, but you can still go ahead and do it. It doesn't completely put you into a freeze response. There's a difference between fear, which we can still work with as an edge, as an opportunity for expansion. The other side of that is terror. It's like you just, no matter what, you want to, perhaps, say for me, public speaking has always been a big thing. You might not think that, because here I am speaking to you quite comfortably on Zoom, but this has been a progression, right? This has been a progression for me. So from speaking on Zoom, my next layer of vulnerability is actually doing that, holding, something in person. So, you know, for a long time, just even doing this kind of thing would have been a massive contraction for me. It would have been terror. I would have, perhaps I would have done it, but it would have been so incredibly uncomfortable. I would have to have used a lot of what I call force energy to get myself into that zone where I was actually able to do the thing. But I would have freaking hated it. I would have hated it. So we get to work with the nervous system, we get to work with the fears in our body, and we get to be able to expand our nervous system and create what we call sort of titrate the nervous system to slowly sort of open us up, right? We want to be able to create the expansiveness so that we can move forward in a way that feels easeful rather than using that force energy. So we can choose the healing. So if we're finding that something is literally, it's a no in the body, it's a massive handbrake on, you cannot move forward, you cannot get out of your own way, because essentially you're in your way. If you cannot get out of your own way to do something that you know is really going to help you move forward in your business or life, then that is when you need to do the inner healing. Otherwise, if you just know that there's a little bit of fear there, you can just choose expansion. Like I said yesterday, you know, I was showing up in my relationship with my husband in a way that I was like, oh, I'm not really happy about that. I knew that my attachment style was avoidant. And rather than just diving in and doing more healing around my attachment style, I just chose expansion. And then ever since I've chosen expansion, I'm really happy with the way that I'm showing up in my relationship with my husband. And I'm sure that he would agree if I asked him. Something which has shown up for me as well is this lone wolf. I tend to be a little bit of a lone wolf where I don't actually, you know, I tend to think that I can just do this on my own. I don't need the help of someone else. And, you know, sometimes I see that if I can't get through this on my own, then I'm never going to be able to, you know, create a successful business in life if I'm continually having to ask for support and help. And so I really have to notice that part of me, that lone wolf part of me that thinks that I can just continue to do it on my own. There are I have my own blocks. I have my own, essentially blocks that I can't see. And so allowing the support of another person, another mentor, another coach. And I've decided, I made a decision that I'll only ever invest in now body-based coaches that actually work with they have a somatic training as part of their coaching. They're not just working from the mindset, because I think if a coach is just working from a mindset level, then they're actually limited in themselves and their potential to be able to offer a higher potential or a higher outcome. I might get slayed for saying that, but that is my personal opinion. I'm putting it out there today that I think there is so much more power, there is so much more possibility open when you're actually working as a somatic coach. You're working with the body as well, and getting clients to understand working with the body is so much more powerful than just working at the mind level. Self-sabotage is a sneaky little one that's going to creep in and try and keep us small. So when we're looking to expand, yes, Tanya, you probably experienced that. When we're looking to expand, that we end up resisting the very thing that will support you on your highest and brightest path. Okay, so that's that little bit of a lone wolf sometimes might come in and just go, no, I can do that on my own. Or, you know, I'll go and do this thing, and we can get a little bit distracted. But we resist the very thing that's going to support us on our highest and brightest path. So maybe it is investing in ourselves. Maybe it is, you know, just taking that leap and asking someone for support in an area that you don't have the skills or the ability to be able to do it. Or self-sabotage might look like, you know, not showing up for yourself, not doing the self-care. That quite often happens when clients start working with me, when they have a highly dysregulated nervous system, is that they actually resist the very thing that's going to help them feel better. And that's those foundational things of doing your journaling, you know, looking at the way that you're eating, doing some exercise, all of those things, you know, help you feel better. But sometimes when you're feeling like shit, you don't want to do those things. So that is that sneaky self-sabotage that creeps in. So Rhythm and Rise, my new brand, which I'm very excited about, is all about nervous system regulation. It's all about, you know, being able to regulate our nervous system so that we can continually expand. We get to explore the edges of our comfort zone. So one thing that I really love to do for myself, if we're looking at other practical tools for nervous system regulation, is cold immersion. So if you don't have access to, like we have our swimming pool, which is freezing cold at the moment, if you don't have access to like doing a full body immersion a few times a week, you can always just do things like putting your hands into an ice bath, putting your face into an ice bath. That's actually apparently really good for your skin. You know, just any time that you can actually immerse yourself into some quite cold water, so you can start to, you know, regulate your breathing, notice the story in the mind, notice what it wants to say, notice that it, you know, maybe it wants to go into a flight, because this is a really good opportunity for you to start recognizing when you get into a stress response, what do you do? What is the story that you tell yourself? What does your nervous system do? For me, I'm just like, I want to get out of here. I want to flee this situation. I go into lots of stories. So being able to, and you can just do this by turning the shower on to cold as well. Just turn, you know, start with it on warm, wash yourself, do all those sorts of things, then turn the shower on to cold. And then the idea is that you're just going to try and relax yourself as much as possible and calm your breath and just being with the experience of being uncomfortable. Because we often go from our warm bed to our warm shower to our car, which has seat warmers, and then we got our warm cup of tea, and you know, we're throughout the day, you know, we're constantly navigating our maybe I'm just speaking for myself here in the past, but navigating our world in a way that we feel comfortable and warm, and you know, so if we can put ourselves into situations where it is a little bit extreme, that we're actually able to start working with that nervous system and in a way that feels safe, but a way that feels achievable, we're able to then start titrating that nervous system along with doing things like breath work and meditation and other somatic practices. Intermittent fasting is another one which I really, really love, because again, you know, we quite often eat more than what we need to. We're snacking right throughout the day, but when you're able to offer your body the ability to have that break, I mean, it's incredibly healing for our bodies. But when we're not constantly eating, then we're able to actually have a little bit more mental clarity. So quite often brain fog seems to clear up. You're expanding your ability to be able to be a little bit uncomfortable, because as the tummy starts to rumble and you're starting to like, oh, you know, and we want to immediately go and soothe ourselves with some food, we're able to expand our ability to be a little bit uncomfortable with not having food in our tummy. But I will say, for any woman on this, there is a book called Fast Like a Girl, and I forgot to write down the author's. Yes, so it's by Dr. Mindy Powell's. I don't know if you can see that. I highly recommend, if anybody wants to try intermittent fasting, that is the book to choose, because for women it's a lot different than men with fasting. So we have our hormone cycle, so we need to be able to be fasting that is going to be supportive for our hormones as we go through, you know, the different times, you know, cycle of the month with our progesterone and estrogen and testosterone coming in. We can actually really support our hormonal health by fasting in a way that really supports that. So if you want to try intermittent fasting, I highly recommend getting that book. All right, so just to kind of wrap up really quickly, so that regulated nervous system is going to help leading to expansion and sustainable growth. All right, it's going to stop that roller coaster. It's going to stop the feast and famine. It's going to stop you oscillating, kind of like, you know, putting yourself out there into the world, you know, saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden thinking, oh, God, someone's going to reject me. I'm going to be judged. You know, I'm going to be abandoned. So I'm going to pull back. And so then you pull back, and then you hide away from the world, and then you eventually come out of your hiding, and then you put yourself out there, and then, you know, so it's this oscillation of not feeling safe, and, you know, this backwards and forwards kind of thing that we want to stop ourselves from doing. So that's when we get to do that through a regulated nervous system. I can't, if we were to teach children this in schools, if we would teach children, you know, how the nervous system works, what happens when we stress, and how we can down-regulate our nervous system when we're feeling stressed, or if we go into a stress response and we're not able to get our needs met in that moment. You know, sometimes we might freeze and withdraw, that we can upregulate our nerves. If we were to teach kids this, holy crap, would we be empowered human beings? But for whatever reason, they decide not to teach children at school how to be really empowered with their nervous system, and it really breaks my heart. But anyway, I'm teaching us adults to do it now, which is the most important thing, that we're actually doing it. So if we look at the opposite of playing small, then that is being bold. That is asking for what you want. That is saying, this is what I want, and what I want wants me. Right? You're safe to ask for what you want. You're safe to have your needs met. And that was something that came up for me. I was like, oh, but this is what I want, but oh, I can't have what I want. I had this belief that I couldn't actually have what I want. And that was probably a belief that I picked up somewhere in childhood. You know, maybe I was asking for a horse 100 times, and I wasn't allowed the horse. And so I had this belief that I can't have what I want. I mean, I probably would have got the horse and then not really looked after it very well anyway. But you know what I mean? This is some things that we can pick up on through childhood, is that, you know, sometimes asking for what we want is not okay. You know, maybe it seems selfish, maybe it's, you know, maybe it just wasn't a possibility when we were growing up to be able to have everything that we want, but we took on a belief that our needs don't matter and what we want isn't important. So just seeing whether or not that resonates with you. So I think I've kind of touched on a little bit about my story, my visibility fears. The other thing that's come up for me is not feeling qualified enough. So, you know, looking at limiting who I work with because of the imposter syndrome creeping in. But what's the most important thing here, as I said yesterday, is to hold the vision of who you desire to be, right? Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the world? Especially, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel in the way that you're showing up? What are the qualities? What are the what are the qualities of that woman or that man that shows up in a way that asks for what they want, that goes after boldly for their desires? Really looking at that person and trying to get a good feel for that. Essentially, it's the highest version of yourself that is already you, that's already inside of you, but it's just covered up by layers and layers and layers of distortions and beliefs and wounds and projections and energetic imprints. But that person is essentially you anyway, but we just have to remove all of these layers that are protecting you and keeping you safe. That's what it's doing. It's keeping you safe from being the highest version of yourself, because there is a fear that you're not safe, that you'll be rejected, that you'll be judged, that you'll be abandoned, that your needs won't be met. All right. So this is that inner child, that's that inner part of you that doesn't feel safe. And that's the part that we get to work with. We get to constantly grow into that higher version of ourselves that is already you, that's already inside of you. But we have to remove all of these layers that aren't serving us, or just choose expansion if that's available to you. Alrighty. So again, just touching on the Awaken Your Inner Magic 5-week course, coming up on the 29th. if anybody would love to come along and really dive in deeper into the somatic work, using the power of breathwork, using the power of rewiring the subconscious mind, just making that decision that you're going to commit that time to yourself to really choose expansion, choose healing, choose growth, choose being bold, choosing asking for what it is that you desire. You know, all of these things are available to us when we just make the decision and commit, and then just trust that, you know, the universe is going to support you, and that I am also going to support you on that path of being the fullest expression of who you are. I mean, that is what we are here to be and do, is just be the fullest expression of who you are, be authentic, be alive, be connected, and that is when life becomes truly magical. So again, you know, if that resonates with you and you want some more information, the early bird is on offer now. So let's dive into the breath work. For those on the recording and didn't see yesterday's breathwork session, I will just run through what you may experience. So we're going to be using, this is a meditative breathwork session, so we're going to be using the shamanic breath, which is a 3-part breath. It's a conscious continual breath. So we breathe into the belly, into the chest, and out through the mouth, okay? And it's a circular breath. There is no pause in between the inhale and the exhale. So we breathe. You can either suck the air in through your mouth, or you can do it with an open mouth. That one definitely feels more vulnerable to me. My throat feels like it's going to dry up. That was the breath that I used to do when I first started doing breath work, and then I changed to the other one. So, you know what, actually that one makes me feel more lightheaded as I'm bringing a little bit more air into my body. So yeah, something that you might experience if you're sitting up like me is you might feel a little bit lightheaded, but generally when you're lying down doing these meditative breathwork sessions, you don't sort of feel that lightheadedness. You might feel a little bit of tingling in the extremities of your hands and feet and around your mouth. You might also feel a little bit of tetany as we are starting to change the balance of the oxygen and the CO2 in the body. You might start feeling a little bit tetany. The hands might start to claw and tighten and curl in. Right, just know that this is completely natural. If it feels too uncomfortable, just shake the hands out. You can also just drop the breath, and the hands will that will just relax the hands. You might feel some resistance coming up as you go to start to breathe. It might not feel very comfortable because you're not used to breathing this way, but just stay with the breath, keep breathing, and after the first 5 to 7 minutes, the mind will start to quieten and the body will just take over. It's just a natural response that happens. Trapped pain, you might feel some trapped pain. So sometimes we feel it around our solar plexus, we might feel it in our chest and our throat, you know, sometimes around our jaw. So you can just offer yourself some pressure release. Tapping is really good. You know, sometimes I do this when I'm actually wanting to assist in the purge, when I'm wanting to actually release an energy, and we can do that through coughing, we can do that through burping, we can do that through the exhale, we can also do it through tears. And sometimes if I'm wanting to activate that for myself, then I will tap on my chest, and sometimes just gently even tap on my throat, and that will help me activate more of a purge. So temperature shifts, you might also feel the body temperature drop, or you might get hot. So just having a blanket handy, just making sure that your neck is nice and flat, so you've got an open airways. So those are some of the physical things you might experience. The emotional side is that you might have a roller coaster of emotions. You might feel, you know, all of those heavy emotions of grief and sorrow and sadness and anger and rage. So just allowing whatever wants to come through to come through. If there is a scream that wants to come through, scream. You know, if you don't want to alert the neighbors, then use a pillow. But sometimes a lot of this energy that we're experiencing is from childhood. You know, it's the child that didn't get an opportunity to complete the stress cycle, the child that didn't get the opportunity to have the tantrum, the child that didn't get the opportunity to have the voice be heard. And so there was a lot of anger and frustration from the inner child. So it might feel like, oh, I just want to like thrash my legs, you know, and just like kick all this energy out. So just full permission just to really let go and just allow whatever it is that your body needs to do to express itself. Like I said yesterday, sometimes just getting up on your hands and knees is really supportive. Moving the hips, because a lot of the energy gets trapped in around our hips and our sacral chakra, our root chakra, and moving that energy. Sometimes I notice that with my clients, once they get up onto their hands and knees, they also are able to purge the energy. So just being really open, really open to what wants to come through. Having no attachment to any outcome is the best way to approach any breathwork session. It's a little bit like stepping onto the yoga mat, as my yoga teacher used to say. Every time that we step onto the yoga mat, we're going to feel different. Our body's going to feel different. So that's no different to doing a breathwork session. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to pop the general prompts into the chat. So for those who are watching the recording on YouTube, in the below the video in the description is where you will find the general prompts. So if you want to take note of them from the recording, that's where you'll find them. Oh, whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm so happy that there is there we go, a backspace or whatever you call it on Google Drive, because I did a control paste when I wanted to do control V. Okay. I'll post those questions in there now, and I'm going to try and see what I can do. I will put the music on. So the journal prompts are in the chat. So the first one is, where have I been playing small in my life or business? So just having just a little bit of an overview of where you're playing small, where you're holding yourself back, where you're not showing up for yourself. That might be, just in life in general, maybe it's self-care and not showing up for yourself in a way that's supportive of your health. Maybe it's in your business or career. So just seeing where you're playing small in your life. And so from you've taken note of what those fears and beliefs are that have contributed to you playing small. So you might just want to bring a little bit more attention to those. If I knew I couldn't fail, what would I do? Now I want you to answer this question from, if you can, tap into your higher self. Right, so maybe just when you do answer this one, just tune into your heart for a little minute and just ask yourself, what would I do if I couldn't fail? You don't want to answer this question from the lens of the mind, because the mind will be like, oh, you can't do that. You're not capable of doing that. So just see if you can answer that one from the higher self. And then the final one is, I am a woman or / man who. And this one is, I really want you just to see what wants to flow. I'm a woman who is confident, courageous, who goes for what she wants, who feels confident in herself and her beliefs, who knows her self-worth, who is determined and courageous, just whatever it is for you, just let that one flow. Don't overthink it. Just let the pen just flow for that one. So I'm just going to pop on this music. So just a couple of minutes for each question. That's just finishing off the last journal prompt. We just got another, just under a minute here to finish that last question. Of course, if you're on the recording, you can just pause it and write as long as you want. I actually wanted to introduce another breath pattern today that I just remembered that I hadn't talked to you about. So what I want to do is, when we're doing the expansion part, so we've released, you know, the fears and some of the beliefs, we're letting those go, we're shedding, we're creating a little bit more space. You know, maybe you're not completely ready to let those parts of you go. Maybe they're still serving you in some way, and that's absolutely fine. You know, our body is the master intelligent one, so it's going to release and let go when it's ready. So maybe you're just creating a little bit more space for those parts of you to be there. It's like, yeah, you know, you can still be there and I'll still love you and I'll still support you. I'm essentially talking about the inner child here with all of this stuff, that, you know, you're still safe to be there, and, you know, I'm going to support you through it. I'm going to nourish you. I'm going to love you through the expansion, but I'm just going to create a little bit more space for that to be there. If you're not really ready to let it go, or if your body's really not ready to let it go, you'll know, because, you know, of how you're releasing. Not that the releasing needs to look like anything in particular, but sometimes, you know, when we're really ready to let it go, you know, there's a lot of noise, or there's, you know, there's a lot of tears and things like that. Again, I'm not putting any emphasis on it having to look any particular way. So the breath pattern that I want to use in the expansion part, because let's really bring in some beautiful energy into our body today. So we're going to be using the 3-part breath as part of the release, and then we're moving into the expansion. I really want you to bring a lot of energy into the body. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop the 3-part breath, and we're just going to use a conscious continual breath. So it's just a single inhale, exhale. So I'm pulling that air right up from my base chakra, right up. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pulling up the muscles of the pelvic floor, the perineum. You know, for a man, obviously, it's a slightly different area than it is for a woman. So we're pulling up and squeezing that lower chakra, right? We're squeezing up as we inhale. So we're inhaling, we're squeezing, and we're what you might say the Mulia Bandha. So we're contracting that lower bandha, that lower chakra. So we're essentially, you know, what's the word for it? Holding that energy in, but we're bringing the energy up into our third eye, up into our midbrain. So we want to also activate the third eye and bring some more energy up into that chakra. So we're now on the exhale, you're all on mute. If you feel comfortable, I'm going to invite you into making a pleasurable exhale. Wow. Wow. All right, we get to feel good. We want to remind the body that it's safe to feel good. It's safe to feel good in this expansion and being bold and asking for what you want. So let's remind our body as much as possible. And this is also, you know, something else that we can look at is like getting over the way that we sound, the way that we look. You guys are on your own, so I can't hear you, but my invitation is to allow that sound to be pleasurable, reminding your body that it's safe to feel good. You get to experience this life that we have, this beautiful journey of being a human, but also we get to feel good in the process of it. It doesn't always have to feel hard and easy and a struggle and a fight. Okay, it gets to be beautiful and messy and pleasurable as well. So let's remind our body that it's safe to feel that way today as well. So I'm going to, don't worry, I'll cue you, but I just wanted to let you know that is the other breath pattern that I'm going to bring in today as well. So getting yourself into a nice, comfy position, lying down, head nice and flat, and we will dive into the breath work. I'm so excited. And if you can just make sure that I can see you so I can connect in with your energy. And I'll just check as well to make sure my voice and the music is okay sound-wise. So I'm just going to check that song. If someone can give me an okay, if it sounds good, if my voice is okay with the music in the background, or if the music needs to go down or up. Needs to go up a wee bit. Yep. Okay, I'm going to just take that up a smidge. How is that? Just taking that up a smidge. My voice and the music at the same time. Is that okay? Perfect. Amazing. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So let's go on a beautiful journey of letting go of those parts of you that have been keeping you small, that have keeping you hiding away the authentic parts of you, your authentic voice, allowing yourself to be seen in your authenticity. Just feeling comfortable, just showing up and just being in the room full of people, strangers that you don't know, or maybe you know a few of them, and just standing there and allowing your inner light to shine, allowing yourself to feel the grace and the ease and the inner beauty just to radiate out of you, knowing that you're enough, that you're living from your heart, and that your intention is good. Not saying that you get it right all the time, but you take responsibility and accountability for when you don't get it right, but you're just showing up in a way that's really powerful. So just taking a few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just landing yourself in this space, in this moment, in this time, right here. And just thanking yourself for offering yourself this gift of time, this gift of healing, this gift of expansion. But just letting go of any attachment to any expectation, releasing any expectation of any outcome, and just inviting in a little bit of curiosity. If I was to let go and release and purge just a little bit of these fears that I have and these beliefs that are keeping me small, who could I be? What would I do? How would I show up? So just taking a deep breath in and feeling your whole body on the exhale. So breathing in, and then on the exhale, just feeling your whole body. Breathing in, and on the exhale, feeling your whole body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, just saying, hello body, I see you. That's it, and just bringing your awareness now to the breath, just following that breath while you listen to my voice. All you have to do is listen to my voice and follow your breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just bringing a little bit more energy into the body now, so just speeding that breath up, just going for a little bit more depth. So really bringing that energy into the body now, starting to wake the body up. So I just want you to bring into your mind's eye now the highest version of yourself. The one that already exists within you, but she's just hidden away beneath a few masks, a few layers, a layers of limitation, protecting her, trying to keep her safe. That's all. She's just trying to be safe. So I just want you to see this higher version of yourself. What does she look like? Just seeing how she holds herself. See her posture. Seeing the look upon her face. See how her skin is radiant. Her eyes are soft. Gentle smile upon her face. Whatever it is, just seeing this higher version of yourself. What is she wearing? What is the health of her body like? What is the state of your relationships like with your family? The highest version of yourself. How is she showing up? How is she showing up for others? But most importantly, how is she showing up for herself each and every day, and every moment of every day? How is this higher version of yourself showing up? Just connecting in with the energy of this beautiful man or woman. What is she doing? What is he doing? What is she saying yes to? What is he saying yes to? What are you achieving that you thought was never possible for you? On your highest timeline, what is possible for you? What is it that you're doing that you're courageously said yes to, that you just keep on moving forward, and then before you know it, it's like, wow, this is what I've created. This is what my life looks like, because I was so intentional. I was so intentional about how I wanted to feel and how I wanted to show up. And this is the life that I have co-created, because I have trusted myself. I have listened to the sweet whispers of my soul and the little universal nudges that have just guided me on my path, feeling so aligned, so lit up, so purposeful, so fulfilled. Because I am honoring what it is that I'm here to do in this lifetime. I'm allowing my inner magic to shine, my medicine to shine, what it is that I'm here to do to serve humanity. We are all here to serve humanity. Just seeing what that is for you. Feeling this energy, knowing that if it is what you desire, it is already done. It is already done. So just holding this vision for yourself as we go on this journey today, because we're going to remove, release, shed, purge, let go of anything that is holding you back from stepping into a higher version of yourself. All right, so just creating an intention just to release what wants to be released today. So we're going to move into the 3-part breath. So breathing into the belly, into the chest, and out through the mouth. Okay, so this is a conscious continual breath. So breathing into the belly, into the chest, and out through the mouth. Just allowing this breath to take hold in your body, just allowing this breath to to find its home, to find its ease as it flows into your body, just finding your rhythm, just allowing it just to land, just finding your unique rhythm. Your rhythm is so unique, your rhythm is so special. So just allowing this breath to symbolize that, your unique rhythm. That's it. Beautiful breathing today. You're amazing. You truly are amazing. Just for showing up, doing this inner work. As you're breathing in more energy today, just remember that you're breathing in healing energy, okay? This is healing energy. You're not just breathing normal air, this is special air, this is healing energy. So just notice if there is any resistance coming through, if the mind wants to tell you some stories, just noticing it. Just noticing it, just being with it, but just keep breathing. Because the mind will quieten, the resistance will just melt away as the body takes over. The body holds the answers, the body holds the wisdom. All of those answers that you're seeking, all of those answers are found within the visceral intelligence of your body. So just seeing what sweet whispers want to come through today. So in this part of the journey, we're just going to acknowledge where you're at right now, acknowledging where you're at, just bringing in some acceptance. This is where I'm at right now. I meet myself where I'm at right now. I meet myself where I'm feeling those fears and those beliefs today. I meet myself fully where I'm at. And I choose to release. I choose to let go. I choose expansion. But just right now in this part of the flow, just meeting yourself where you're at with so much compassion, with so much gratitude for all of the lessons. You can call them lessons, because those lessons really are blessings in disguise. Now just remember that if you want to move that energy out of the body, you can do it through movement. You can shake your hands, you can shake your legs, movement from side to side, some sounding, whatever is the most supportive for you today in moving that energy out of the body. Full permission today. Full permission to really explore those edges and to go to places that you've never been before. I just love it how the animals sometimes turn up when we're doing breathwork. I think they really enjoy it. All right, so we're moving into the release phase now. Moving into the release phase. So what is it that you are ready to put down? What is it that you're ready to let go of? Or even today, what is it that you want to create a little bit more space for that belief or that fear to be there? You're just acknowledging it. You're creating a little bit of spaciousness for it to be there. You're not collapsing down into it. So what is it that you want to let go of today? Those fears, those beliefs, that fear of failure, the judgment, the limiting beliefs around money, the scarcity around that there's not enough abundance for me. fear of rejection, that if I put myself out there, will I be rejected? So how does it look for you today? How does it look for your body to be able to release and let go of some of those fears and those beliefs? How do you get to express it? Right, a lot of these fears, a lot of these beliefs were stored in our solar plexus. So just feeling that energy around the solar plexus, which is just below the ribs, just above the navel. So just bringing your attention and your awareness down into the solar plexus, feeling that energy, seeing and sensing that energy. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What is the texture? What is the color? Is it a ball of black energy? Is it all sludgy? What does that energy look like in there? So breathing into that energy. And maybe just giving it a sound on the exhale. Just allowing your authentic voice to come through and a sound to come through, which allows that energy to shift. Break that energy up. Let's use the sound, let's use the movement, let's use all the tools that are available to you to move that energy and break it up today. Holding the intention for it to release, for it to create more space. Time to let go of the societal validation. It's time to let go of needing the approval and the validation from other people. For them to give you permission for what it is that you're here to do in the world. It is time to release, let go, and put that down. What would you do if you truly trusted yourself? What would you say yes to? If you truly trusted yourself, what would you say yes to? So just allowing that breath to flow, breathing into the belly, into the chest and out through the mouth, just staying with that breath, just allowing the breath few more minutes in this release phase, so just seeing what else it is that you can let go of, bringing through the movement. If it feels good to get up on your hands and knees, really move your body. Just an invitation just to do whatever feels the most supportive for your body today. Shaking out the hands and legs, allowing the sound to come through. Full permission. Safe to let it go. You are safe to release. That's it, just moving the body, creating the space. That release gets to look however it feels the most supportive for you today. Again, just letting go of those fears, those beliefs that are holding you back, that are keeping you small, just stopping you from sharing your unique medicine with the world. What it is that you're here to do. Another minute here in the release phase, really going for it, really allowing that breath, that exhale to represent the letting go. Full permission just to release and let go. Now we're going to move into the next phase of this journey where we get to rise. Right, we get to expand. We get to elevate our frequency and our vibration to match who it is that we desire to be. So again, connecting in with that energy that we started with right at the beginning, the highest version of yourself. Just seeing and feeling her energy again, his energy, just connecting in, seeing yourself on your highest timeline, doing everything that it is that you desire to do in this lifetime, feeling all the feelings that you desire to feel, all the love, all the gratitude, all of the abundance, attracting in the kind of wealth that you desire to experience so you can feel free. Just connecting in again with that energy. All right, so now we're going to be breathing in. So pulling up the perineum, pulling up the pelvic floor in one inhale and an exhale. We're breathing on a lot more energy now. So really allowing that energy to flow. So bringing it, pulling it right in from those lower chakras, right up into the midbrain. Right, we're coming right up into that third eye. And then exhaling. Feel the energetic body expanding, feeling the energy and the frequency rising, so you can be an energetic match to the highest version of yourself. That's it. And on that exhale, my invitation is to allow that exhale to sound pleasurable. Reminding your body that it's safe to feel good, it's safe to feel pleasure. We get to experience joy, we get to experience all of those beautiful feelings. So allowing that exhale to remind your body that it's safe to feel those higher vibrations as well, of pleasure, joy, intimacy. Really feeling that energy coming right up into the midbrain, waking up that third eye chakra. It is time to be bold. It is time to claim your desires. What do you want? What are you going to commit to? Are you committing to your story of expansion, or are you committing to your story of limitation? Choose what it is that you are committing yourself to. That's it. Feeling the energy of your higher self. Feeling the energy of infinite possibilities. Feeling the energy of expansion. Of continual growth. That's it. Now is your time to decide what you want. What do you want? So just a couple of more minutes here, really staying with that breath. I know it's a really energetic breath, but this is going to allow that body to raise, bringing more vitality into your body, more life force energy. So really connecting in with that life force energy that makes you feel alive. That's it. How good can you allow this journey of life to be? How much pleasure are you inviting in the way that you feel about yourself and the connections that you have in your intimate relationships? Just in your overall joy that you have for living and being a human being and having this human experience. How much pleasure can you allow to come into your life? Living from this frequency and this vibration. All of these feel good vibrations. Life gets to feel good. Life gets to feel amazing. We can let go of this addiction to suffering. We can let go of the addiction to things being hard. We can let go of the addiction to having to force and push and strive and hustle. It gets to be easy. It gets to be flowing. It gets to be feel fulfilling. You get to feel lit up about what it is that you're here to do. releasing that breath now. Just coming back to your natural breath. Returning to your natural breath now. As your body settles, just noticing the energy, notice the flowing of your life force energy. And just feeling this newfound sense of freedom, inner freedom. As you have released and let go of some layers of limitation that have been keeping you small, that have been limiting your potential and what it is that you're here to do in this lifetime. Just feeling this newfound sense of safety in your body. This newfound sense of safety, calibrating to this new level of safety in your body. And maybe just repeating to yourself, I am safe. I am safe to be me. I am safe to be all of me. I'm safe to express myself. I'm safe to ask for my needs to be met. I'm safe to ask for what I want. I'm safe to be bold and going after my desires. Just feeling this expansive energy and just feeling so safe in it. I just want you to ask yourself, what is my next step from this new place, this expansion, this new calibration of safety in my system? What is my next step? What am I going to say yes to? Maybe it's just something really small. It doesn't have to be something big today. What is that next little step that I can take? I say yes to, that I'm going to show up to myself more powerfully? What am I going to commit to? Sometimes those things that we say yes to can feel like a little bit of an edge, but just knowing that we're safe in that edge too. And we get to explore the edges of our comfort zone. We get to expand. We get to do it in a regulated way that's sustainable. I invite you now down into the heart chakra. That still point in the center of the chest between the front ribs and the back ribs. Just connecting in with your inner light. Feeling the warmth, the frequency and the vibration of your heart. Knowing how beautiful you are, how loved you are, and you are meant to be here. You are meant to shine your light. You are meant to share your gifts, your medicine. So just like a dimmer switch that you are tuning up from 1 to 2, turning it brighter. 2 to 3, it's getting brighter. 3 to 4, brighter. 4 to 5, it's getting brighter. Just feeling the expansion, feeling the glow inside your body as it expands. Just allowing it to expand into all areas of your body as that light continues to shine brighter. Keep turning that dial up until that light is so bright it's almost blinding. Allow your entire body to be filled up with this beautiful divine light, your inner light. Allowing that light to fill up your entire body. Allow it to remove any impurities, anything that is remaining that's residual, that has been limiting you, keeping you small. Just allowing it just to flow out from the bottom of the feet and out through, and exhale. So just breathing in, releasing anything else out through the exhale. And just bringing your attention to your hands now as this energy flows down your arms from your heart and into the palms of the hand. I just want you to feel these balls of energy in your hands. Just feeling these balls of energy in your hands. And just allowing that energy to radiate out to humanity, out to the world. Whether or not you're a healer or a coach or a teacher or whatever your profession is, you are here to share your light, your healing, and you can do that just through your intention. So sending that energy out to humanity now. Feeling the connection that we are one. There is no separation, there is no divide. We are one. Just taking a deep breath in, breathing into the body and out through the mouth. Just bringing a little bit more energy into the body. Just feeling your feet. Connection with Mother Earth, the soil, the roots, the rocks, the trees, all of the life that lives within the soil structure. Feeling your deep connection with the earth right now. Feeling yourself being held beneath you, the ground beneath you, feeling the weight of your body on the ground as you bring your connection back into your body. Just wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, and just bringing your awareness back into the surroundings of the room where you are now. Just noticing where there is a door, where there is a window. Ready, just slowly opening your eyes, bringing yourself back to full awareness. And I just want to thank you so much for being here on the recording or being here live today. This was a big energy to work with today, this energy of smallness. Keeping yourself small and moving into expansion, moving into the highest version of yourself. So I honor you for going on this journey today, for receiving this transmission. And just a little gentle reminder for self-care today. Just if you can, get your feet out on the ground, out onto the earth as soon as you can. Stay hydrated. Allow this experience to be as somatic as possible. Sometimes the mind wants to make sense about the experience, but please just allow it to be as somatic as possible. If you need to journal, then journal. But just trust that the body holds the wisdom and the answers, and that it knows the fastest path to your healing and expansion and your growth. And if you need any extra support, please reach out to me. I'm also always open to hearing your experience. It brings me so much joy. So tomorrow is day 3. We are unleashing your worth. Can't wait to see you tomorrow for the final day of this Awaken the Phoenix, transcend your limitations, and ignite your inner magic. So thank you so much. Sending you my love, and have a beautiful rest of the day or evening.